It's like that. Work? Oh shit. That work? What? Does that work? Oh, what? Oh, so I cannot send the messages inside the chat in the OBS, but I can see them. Pretty much what I want. It's good enough. That's all I wanted. Let me just do one more thing. Well, the very first time I'm gonna do. How do I find my stream? How do I find stream? Share it. Is it even on? Well, let's check if it. That's how the MCA strike. Okay, I go to my channel. My channel. Hey, it is online. Okay. Hey, I can watch myself. Awesome. Gonna give myself a thumb up. Because why not? I want to post it. All game I played. Bang. And bang. The first time I using the YouTube for the very first time streaming. It's new. So this. Okay, what is the plan? The plan is that I will go through all of the games I have played 2024. I'm gonna talk a little bit about them. I'm gonna rank them, of course. At the end of the day, the end of the stream pretty much, I'm gonna bring one of the games that is a must play, the super must play rank, and then I'm gonna bring one of the game from the yuck rank into super yuck. I'm gonna promote those games. I select one of the best ones or the worst. Oh yeah, as you can see, we have must play. Obviously, those are the games that I believe you should play. Doesn't matter if you like the genre or not. I believe you just should try out the game. I have some good games. I believe that you don't have to play them if you are in games, in my opinion. They are pretty good, damn good games. So if you are just wondering what to play, probably a good game to launch. And it's not great, not terrible. Some games I don't know an awful lot. Those are not all the games that I finished. Those are all the games I have just played. So I don't have a lot of stuff to say about some of the games. And also some of the games are just like hard to describe. So yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the games that come here. A YouTube stream, nani. Yeah, I'm trying a YouTube stream because I want a longer video on YouTube, a little bit more chill. a little bit more like a stream recap. But I don't want it to be in the videos section. And I believe if you stream, then you have another section for the streams, for the past streams. So that's pretty much why I'm doing this on YouTube. I might do some multi-streams in the future, so that I still do something on Twitch, but I'm not sure. But yeah, today I'm just trying this one. Hello Salami anyway, how you doing? And then we have the bad games. Yes, this is just... yeah, they bad. Not like the worst, but they are pretty bad. I don't recommend them, that's for sure. And then we have the yuck, absolute worst games that I will never recommend, even if you like... even if you want to torture somebody. No. Don't. Please don't. Yeah. This category exists mostly because of this fucker. Let's start with the fucking Youngblood. Wolfenstein Youngblood is one of the fucking worst games I have played the last year. It's atrociously bad. The gunplay is okay-ish. It's not as smooth as it was in Wolfenstein the New Order or even the new Colossus. Because of the way the HP works in this game, you just cannot really like kill somebody with a smooth headshot. You cannot just boop his head. It feels bad to shoot enemies on higher difficulties. You just shoot them. You can buy yourself for real money. You can spend real money on this game to buy yourself a stat boost that gives you double the amount of ammo from drops. Because you will need that shit. Because the enemies are so spongy, you just cannot kill them. And you just stand in place, you find a spot where they cannot hurt you, and you just hold down left mouse button, and you watch the health bar go down. The most painfully boring display you can imagine. This is yuck. This is not a good game. Tedious. The story is almost not existent, let's be honest. The story resolves around the first mission. You have the very first mission where you do something. Then it's, hey, there's an open world where you need to gather, I believe, 4 things around the world. And those do absolutely nothing in terms of doing something for the plot. There's no plot. You just need to visit 4 places, or 3, I believe it was. Maybe it was 3, I don't even remember. Fuck this game. Something around 3 places. And none of them really change anything. You find new stuff, new weapons, but nothing really more. And then some small stuff happens, like a big bang, but the characters absolutely destroy the moment. And then it's end of the game. The entire game revolves around you trying to farm up levels in the very early game, so you can actually begin doing those 3 things. So there are 3 brothers, I believe they are called. You need to get to them, but to get to them you need to farm like 20 levels. You cannot do shit after the prologue. You need to farm the game for 20 levels to begin the next chapter. It's yuck. It takes like 7 hours total, even with the farming. It's absolute disaster. Strong start, yes. Very confident in this one. It's absolutely the worst. So, let's go with Backpack Battles, which is... Actually, you know what? I wanted to kinda go with 1 word for every game. Find 1 perfect word that would describe every game on the list. And I feel like Youngblood. I'm gonna say... I made a video where I used the word tedious, but I don't even believe that tedious describes just how atrocious this game is. I think atrocious is probably the best word to describe this one. Because it is just the worst game. Like, holy shit. By a long shot. Pacing, the gameplay element, how they fucked up a sequel, because this is a sequel, so there is something in this game that should be sequeled or something. It's atrocious. Next one is Backpack Battles, and that Backpack Battles is I want to give it not great, not terrible, but I did spend a good amount of time in it. I got hooked like crazy. For me, this is a good enough game, so I can recommend it. The game is not atrocious. The game is the atrocious. Also, the on-screen chat is even more atrocious. Wait, what is happening with this? I need to... What happened to the chat box? I just noticed that the chat box is very bad. Do I go like... No, this should work, but... For some reason, is it to be? Wait, maybe because they changed it. Transform, that's why it's... Because it, I believe it cuts your words. Maybe... How do I like change the size of it, but also make it higher? Shaft stream, let's go. Oh, now it kinda works. Fucker nice. Side. Let's go for something like this for now. Enough. Can you like read on the screen what you're reading? Can you read? I hope you can. The scuffed stream. One of a kind. I had to like make a very special setup for that, so I don't like show too much of my Windows, the internet browsers, because of private stuff. So I had to be pretty strict with this stuff. Appears for a moment, but yeah, I can maybe like make it longer. Be able. Only thing you can make longer in 5. Like seconds. Let's go for a minute. Fuck it. Okay. Anyway, Backpack Battles. Yeah, I got hooked like crazy. I don't know. I was watching. I don't remember even who was I watching. Who was I watching? I watched quite a lot of streamers around that time. I watched one of them for quite a long time, and I don't know. I just looked at the game. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is like this is like a little bit like Arena in Hearthstone." Just gonna lock in. Yeah, lock in. Look at it. This is like an Arena in Hearthstone, so it's looked pretty good. I started playing it and I got absolutely hooked. Oh, it was that's like drugs. And then one day I was like, yeah, you know what? I just finished. That's why I'm kinda like, I kinda want to place it in not great, not terrible, because once you like learn around about the game, it gets a little bit more yuck, because there are things like snapshots of the characters, snapshots. In general, you don't play versus live players, but you do play versus player builds. But there's like a snapshot at some point of the day, I believe, and the snapshot can just make a snapshot of the best builds that day, and suddenly you're like, nah, you're not getting through like 4 wins or something, because the system just selected 4 omega powerful builds, and you're like, yeah, there's no reason to play today. I think it's still pretty good. There's a lot of updates, so I don't even know how the game looks right now, because I played like in the first half of the year. So yeah, if I was to select, if I was to describe this game with one word, it would probably be heroin. I felt like an addict playing this, like I felt bad about myself. It felt both good and bad at the same time. I just kinda wanted to do stuff, but I couldn't like not play the game. That's heroin is a pretty good word to describe it. Let's go next, which is Backpack Hero, which is kind of scuffed image, but it is Backpack Hero, which I played after playing Backpack Battles. I was looking for us. I knew the Backpack Hero existed because I read some comments that Backpack Battles are just a ripoff of Backpack Hero, and I was like, oh shit. Game of amphetamine. Game amphetamine. God. Game amphetamine. Game me amphetamine. Whatever. However you gonna call that. I kind of feel like you should be able to pronounce this together, but I can't. Amphetamine. No. No? Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So, Backpack Hero. Pretty much the same. Game Fatamine. Oh, maybe Game Fatamine? Hey, you just typed it with a space. And my mind is suddenly, yeah, that's a word. You can read those, you know? Like, there's no problem reading those too. Damn. Okay. The more you know. The thing about Backpack Hero was that I played it after the battles, so I was both hooked on the game. I was getting a little bit tired of the genre, I think, because I just didn't like the game that much. But it's also because the game wasn't as polished. There was this kind of chunky nature to it, like small stuff like in Backpack Battles, when you have objects that will like work around themselves. You have an item, but when you place it, it shows you where you can place other items so that this item will work better, for instance. And this kind of stuff is not present in Backpack Hero. So there were small quality of life improvements made that made Backpack Battles a little bit better. And once you play with those quality of life improvements, Backpack Hero is just kinda a little bit clunky to control, clunky to play, just feels different. By the fact that the game is pretty much the same, suddenly it plays a little bit different because you need to like think about much more things. And suddenly, I just didn't enjoy it that much. Probably for that reason. I haven't played it that much though, so I cannot really say definitely. I would say that if you are into this genre, so the lack of those quality of life improvements is not that big, so you would just throw the game away. So I'm gonna place it in good, because I believe the game is good. I was just tired of the game, probably, of the genre, and I lacked a little bit of quality of life improvement. That's it. Overall, game. I don't think I have one word that would describe this game, because I didn't play enough of it. Just gonna continue, because I don't want to, like, think too much. Think too much. I mean, not to stress this game enough. I don't want to say words that I will regret later because I didn't play the game for long enough. Anyway, what do I go for next? I go for Tales of Arise, which was pretty much the first game I played in 2024. It was pretty much a game that I was still playing in 2023. When the year was coming to an end, I was in the middle of Tales of Arise. And then I learned that the middle of Tales of Arise is just the beginning of Tales of Arise. So I started the year very strongly with no internet connection on my PC. My Steam doesn't even know how many hours I have played because I was disconnected. So I played offline. But but Steam still managed to capture that I played the game for 70 hours total. It was just quite a lot for a game like this. However, the game never got bad. I don't think the game ever expired, and I think it's a must play. Solely because of how well the pacing in the game works. Specifically, the mechanical pacing. Because the story, well, some people prefer a little bit faster story, some people prefer a little bit slower. Might not get what you want from the story itself. But in terms of mechanical challenge, the pacing was absurdly good. Like, holy shit, I was still invested. Like 50 hours in, I was still invested in how to play the game, in learning how to play the game. The new mechanics were still introduced. To the very end of the game, the new mechanics still show up. It's not like game breaking or anything, but it's enough to keep you invested in the game, in the combat, which is very simple. The combat is like an arena with a couple of enemies and you have to get rid of them. But with the new mechanics from time to time, it just almost never gets old. It's just amazing to me. Like how well paced this game was. So if I was to describe, if I am to describe this game with one word, it has to be pacing. Like, it's the king of pacing. I believe the game won the game of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken though, not sure. But it's deserved. The pacing is just perfect. Next, I would like to talk about the Grand Blue Fantasy, and it's because it's the same game as Tales of Arise in terms of, for me at least, I am not into those games that much, and those are pretty much the only two games I played in this kind of genre of combat, design, philosophy. I don't know even how to call it. It's this very specific type of combat where you have skills. Like your basic attacks are even skills, like you need to weave in skills with basic attacks, with jumps and combos. It's very fun to play when you learn how to play those. So I really got into Tales of Arise. Later on I was really invested into it. But then I started playing Grand Blue Fantasy, which is pretty much the same game, I would say, in terms of how you approach the combat. There's a lot of mechanics that are very similar, like loading your specialty spells with your companions and stuff. But because this is the complete opposite of Tales of Arise, for me, because the game shoves everything at you in like first 15 minutes. You have first 3 fights, and suddenly you have more mechanics than throughout the entirety of Tales of Arise. Just so much. I was never able to really grasp how to play this game, like really understand the most basic things, how to do them and why do I do them. So I got really burned on the game. I haven't played a lot of it. I spent like maybe 5 hours. I was just, I would say, too tired actually. Because, you know, I finish my job, I go play the game, and the game is just, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, to be honest. Like, the game is similar to Tales of Arise, but there are some differences, so it's not one-to-one. You cannot play the same way. And you need to relearn stuff, and suddenly, because you need to relearn stuff, hey, this doesn't work anymore. So, I would say that it is... why it is almost exactly the same as Tales of Arise. It is the absolute opposite in terms of pacing. It's just that much different. I'm gonna go with good. I'm gonna play the game anyway. I'm gonna continue playing it this year. Probably I will try at least like play a little bit more. There are mods that make it work on widescreen, which I really enjoy playing on widescreen. Because the game, and why I want to play the game a little bit more because it looks fantastic. The art style is just gorgeous. It's a painting. Every single screen is a painting. It's beautiful. The vistas are just magnificent. I really want to play more of and learn if it's really like a must play or not. For now, it's a very hard game to get into. That's why I'm gonna go with good. It's probably good if you learn it already, but for people that are like a little bit slower to learn new stuff, I don't believe they're gonna have a good time. So, because I haven't played a lot of it, I'm not gonna give it a one-word description. Let's continue now with... I want to find something bad, because there's nothing here yet. Maybe I should try to find something. What do I go for now? If you are here, Salami, are you still here? Salam ad-Din. I'm not sure if you're here. I'm gonna leave it one. And I'm gonna leave this one for later. Yes. Outriders. Yes. Give it to me. It's bad. It's not yuck bad. But it's bad. I haven't played a lot of it, but I played like... I don't know. I finished the very prologue, let's say. And the sheer amount of fade to black, fade to cutscene, and then like fade to black, fade to gameplay just crushed me. Just so many times. I know, but I tried to check it out myself. I never got to the action, to be honest. Like, I almost haven't shot anything in this game because there was so many fade to black, fade to something. Like, every single transition in this game is fucking fade to black, fade to action. And it gets in the way of everything, to the point of you just trying to like, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what it was, but something just broke me and I just alt F4'd the game because I was like already noticing those trans. At first I didn't notice them, but then I was like, holy shit, that's an awful lot of fade to black transitions. And then I did some stupid action that I was like, I don't know, opening a menu or something, and it was fade to black. And I was like, no, fuck you. No, this is enough. It's like, there's no way you can shove this many transitions like this. You can't. Funny thing, Outriders and Space Marine 2 have very similar design of the exploration combat. Oh! Okay. Maybe. Does the Space Marine have a fade to black? This many fade to black? So yeah, even though I haven't played an awful lot of this game, I'm just gonna tell you, for now, I'm just gonna describe this game as fade to black. Because that's everything there is in this game. I'm gonna play it more. I'm gonna play more of this game when I like when I recover. No, that's the difference. Okay. Like this game just also just you don't do anything for like I don't know, like 1.5 hours in this game. You don't shoot shit. You like shoot because of the tutorial, and then you walk, and there's fade to black, and then you walk, and then there's fade to black, and then you talk for a bit, and there's fade to black. can co-op with you if you want. Yeah, sure, we can co-op this one. I think we can, yeah. What's... Yeah. When I'm gonna play this one, we're gonna co-op this. I can speedrun you through. No, I don't want to speedrun through. I want to experience it in its glory, my friend. Even if it's bad. For now. Maybe it's better once I learn more. For starters, it was a slog. Just, yeah, Jesus. I don't know. Like, the new player experience? Fade to black, pretty much. Okay. About Fade to Black, because I don't have a transition like this here on the stream. I want to go with some. What do I... Okay, absolute fucking godlike game. Armored Core 6. This game just... This game is incredible. And it's not even the combat design, which is pretty good, I would say. I wouldn't say that it stands on the combat design on its own. But it's enjoyable enough to like not let the game go. The combats are interesting. The building the mechs is pretty interesting as well. Like building your own mech is always fascinating. But to me, the thing that kept me invested in this game, just sheer spaciousness of the locations. Just how visually stunned it pretty much was throughout the entirety of the game, because of how nicely everything looks. And just, I don't know how, but this game does something with the space and with the environments, especially the vistas. Everything in the distance looks like it's there, like it's inside this world. In many games when I play, it's like, oh yeah, this thing is there, but it's not really there. Like you can tell that this mountain back in the distance, it's not there. Like you cannot walk to it. But while playing Armored Core, whenever I would look around, I would be like, holy shit, it's over there. It must be there. Like if I just press the button and have enough fuel, I eventually reach this fucking shit. It must be there. It's real. It felt real as fuck. I don't know how they did that. That's how I felt throughout the entirety of the game. Every single level just feels real. The whole planet feels like it's alive. Like it could be real. And just sheer volume of space that some levels have. Like the gigantic monster, I don't know what it was then. Like a coal, miner or something? I don't remember exactly what it was. It was this walker, giant walker. Biggest fucking enemies in levels, yeah. Like the walker, it's like you see this gigantic thing in the distance and he's like, yeah, you know what? Get on top of this shit. Like, what? Handler, are you drunk? Like, this is the first time you just like see something in the distance that's like, holy shit, this is fucking huge. And then the game is like, you know what? You can go and get on top of this shit. And you're like, oh, what? You seriously? I can? If I am to describe this game with one word, it has to be spacious. Just because of the sheer volume of those levels. The sheer size of the enemies. The distance you have to travel on some levels is absurd. When you look at the map and the map tells you like shitloads of kilometers, you're like, oh, maybe it's like on a different map or something. No, it's on this map. You're gonna go there right fucking now. Go. It's... And the combat is not like behind it. Like, combat is also pretty fucking good. So, one of the best games I have played the last year. Must play. For me, it's a must play just to experience how the game can look. How a game can look. Next, I want to go with Bam, 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 bam. Let's go with Greedfall, which is good. I think it's might be better than Grand Blue Fantasy if you're into RPGs. It's not terrible. I would say that it's pretty good. Right now especially. I believe it was a little bit worse on the release, but then there was a graphical update, just pretty substantial from what I know. And I think the game is just good. The exploration of greed is awesome. I did a full video on this. And it plays good enough. You control the game, obviously. The combat is not like the perfect thing ever. There's a lot of stuff, weird stuff you can do, like spamming both block and there's a block and dodge. You can spam them both and one cancels the other, so you can pretty much just be absolutely... Oh, what's the word? Invulnerable? I believe invulnerable. You just cannot be hit. If you don't want to get hit, enemies won't hit you. It's very lenient, say. You can attack, and throughout the entirety of the attack, you can at any point you can dodge, or I believe you can also parry at any point of the attack. So it's a very easy game for people that have quick reaction time. So yeah, but it's still good. I had some fun. Everything is voiced over, so that's pretty good. That's a big plus for me, for an RPG. If everything is voiced over, that's a pretty good sign. The writing is not the worst. The foreshadowing is like the biggest foreshadowing you can imagine. So yeah, my word, obviously it has to be greed because of how well the game explores various aspects of greed. That's just what the game is about. It's a pretty good RPG as well. Another thing, another game. Let's go with Mafia 3. Holy shit, that's pretty bad. Okay, it's pretty bad if you... I can't recommend this game, sorry. I was thinking maybe it's not terrible. Maybe it's not terrible. Fuck, I don't know. I don't want to be like... It's kind of like on the edge, I would say. I give this kind of games a little bit more shit for how the game world works. Like, you have those things that you need to do. The story moves forward in a speed of a snail. Like, nothing changes in the story. The characters never develop. You have your basic things gated behind some arbitrary things. Like, you can select in this game. You need to get locations under your order, and then you give it to your comrades, however you want to call them, friends, if you want. And because of how the game works, you don't really think, oh shit, I really like Vito, I'm gonna give this one to Vito. No, you're like, oh, if I give it to Vito, Vito's gonna give me this. And it's like gamified as fuck. At some point you're not looking at, oh shit, who I like. No, you're just looking, oh, you know what? I really want a sniper rifle. A really good sniper rifle. I need to give this to this character because this character will give me the sniper rifle. So there's a lot of this kind of stuff. And I'm never really huge fan of this kind of weird gating and weird framing of your actions. So that's pretty much gonna be... I would say it's pretty bad. For a Mafia game as well, I don't recommend this. Personally, I don't. It's gonna stay bad. If somebody else likes it, well, his choice. For me, I was to describe this game with one word, however, I would have to probably say Terminator. Because your character doesn't feel like a human being. It feels like you're playing a machine, a Terminator. Like a Reacher. Don't play a character like Tommy Jello, who has, you know, family and problems, and he cares for stuff because he kinda has to, because someone's gonna just blow him out. He doesn't do stuff. That's the main stress he has. In Mafia 3, you play a dude that doesn't exist for anybody. You cannot die, like physically it's impossible for anybody else to fucking kill him. Whenever somebody mentions your name, everybody's like, holy shit! Oh my god! He's a fucking Terminator, he's gonna kill me! Like, everybody, like, nobody views him as a human being. Everybody's like, holy shit, I know you can blow up an entire town if you just focus yourself on it. Just twist it, lock in, get it twisted, blow yourself up in the town. Like, that's how it works. Okay, that's like, I didn't like it. It's weird. Like, it's weird for a Mafia game. So let's go into thick. How about, do you like them thick? Do you like them thick? Is it good? Is it just good, or is it must play? I haven't finished the game, so I don't think I can say if it's a must play yet. It is thick though. Yeah, right? Thick for egos. Fucking strong. I haven't finished the game. I explored a little bit of it. I also probably learned that I'm not a huge fan of Metroidvania games from this game. For some reason. I never before like realized it, that I'm just not a fan of Metroidvanias. I tried to play oh, it's called oh my god. Shit. Hollow Knight. Oh yeah. I never remember the name. I tried to play Hollow Knight before, and I never got invested in this. Everybody praises the game very highly, and I guess it's just that because I was wondering why the fuck I don't like it. And it's not even that I don't like it, I just don't get invested in the game. And I think that Pseudoregalia made me realize that I just personally do not enjoy Metroidvanias that much. There are probably some games like Darksiders, for instance. That's pretty okay. Like, I can play those games. Probably more action. But I don't know, I just don't like this type of world design that much. I need something else. So, on one hand, I understand that I just don't enjoy this kind of stuff, but I still got invested in the movement system. It is just so good. You can do really crazy stuff in this game. Yeah, pretty much that. It's a movement-based game. And if I was to describe this game with one word, it would have to be thick. It would have to be fucking thick. Anyway, let's go. Let's move on. Let's move on to Quake 2, the must play. Holy shit, it is a must play. Like, if you have never played Quake 2, I believe you should. Especially now, since it was remastered. I believe it's like such an amazing experience. Despite its age, it's still such a fucking good Pseudoregalia. Yeah, yeah, boy. Yeah, it is. Quake 2 is just a classic. You need to play it at least once in your life, I believe. Like, you cannot not play this game. Have you played Q1? I mean, like, I played it before, but I don't think I played it in times when I was like old enough to understand what I'm playing. Like, I played this game before when I was so little that I don't even remember playing this anymore. Like, I don't have any thoughts about the game. Let's say that's when I played the game. So yeah, I never played Q1, but Q2 right now with all the DLCs, the add-ons, however you want to call them, bonus content, played a good game. Smashing shitloads of enemies with BFG. Never feels old. But it's also surprisingly good in terms of playing on your expectancies. At some point, the game, I believe there were places where the Strokes are starting to use the prisoners as baits. You go into a room and there's a prisoner, and before you were like, yeah, well, you don't shoot them, and there's that Stroke waiting somewhere else in the room. And I think that's fucking brilliant as fuck. Because suddenly you have those rooms where you're like, holy shit, there's an enemy, but it's a friend, so I don't shoot. But then there's a Stroke somewhere else. And you just need to quickly react to him. Like, it starts to play around those ideas very well, in my opinion. A very good game, very good shooter. Those are just like, it's not a big thing, by the way. It's not like you're gonna scream over those things, but it's out very interesting. I think. Oh yeah, and I don't have a word for this game. Probably fucking good music. Yeah, I would say that Q2 is just good music and good vibes. It's too good to play it. Let's go with Word of Good 2. I played and I was personally disappointed. I would place it in bad, but I'm actually gonna place it in not great, not terrible, for a specific reason, which is that the first game is so goddamn old and doesn't really want to work on some configurations, so it might be hard to play the game. That if you never played first game, you're gonna have a pretty good time with the second one. But for people that played the first one, like I did, and I loved the living shit out of the first one, I was disappointed in the second one. It's not that much greater than the first one. I feel like a lot of ideas... I started by liking this game a lot because a lot of ideas from the first game are present here. So you have like the Great Breach, things like this, but there's a twist to those levels. So you kind of feel this nostalgia, but it's paired with, oh, that's new, so it just hits amazingly. But then it tries new stuff, and it just doesn't, in my opinion, just doesn't explore new stuff all that well. Like, you have mini golf game and you get like 3 levels with it, maybe 4, and it's like just not enough to fully explore the new idea. It's like one level is a tutorial so simple that you just press a button and you finish it. So you really have only 3 levels to explore the idea. Yeah, that's not a lot, and it doesn't try to shuffle those ideas. It's just not good enough, in my opinion. Especially that it was pretty pricey, I'm not gonna lie. And I would say that the price of the game also impacted my opinion on it. That it was not that much more stuff, but it was like so pricey. Also, no tower. You cannot make a tower like in the first game. There's no bonus level where all of the bonus goos go. and you are allowed to build an infinite tower or however many goose you have. So, lack of this from me, absolutely no. And that was bad. So I can see why new players would like this game, but as an old player, I cannot recommend this to the old players and be like, yeah, you know what, this is the second game, you're gonna get everything you want out of it. Just no. And there's like this weird teasing of next game as well. Like, the game ends so quickly, in my opinion, that it's like the ending just teases. Like, there's so many words of goose, and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna play the next one right now? No. It's probably because of Tales of Arise as well. I played Tales of Arise early in the year and was like, holy shit, games that end but they don't end? Holy shit. And I played, yeah, because I also played Nier Automata and Nier Replicant the year before that. So I was really into those ideas that, hey, games that don't end when they end, and you can continue playing, and there's new content. Jesus! And I was so hyped for that to happen in World of Goo 2. And it didn't happen. And it didn't happen. And unlike in Nier Automata, the first playthrough is not fucking enough. Sorry. Like, if Nier Automata ends on first playthrough, you're like, okay. But in World of Goo 2, no. Ends and you're like, no, you fucker. Give him back my $12. Like, I know you costed 30. Where's my $15? I'm waiting for my $15 of the game. Like, I played fully. I want a full game. Fuck. Yeah, no. Anyway, let's continue with Helldivers. It's an absolute fucking must play. Like, yeah, no, you cannot not play this game. I don't believe you can not play this game. It's... Oh wait, no. Let's do the one word to describe World of Goo 2. The one word I would use to describe World of Goo is probably... Fuck, I don't know what I would use. Be something like a potential. I think a potential is a good word. This game had a gigantic potential, but then it just doesn't deliver on the ideas that very well. It has many mechanics that are cool, but then they are not fully explored. They have a lot of teasing, but they never deliver. And the potential is there, but it's never delivered. That's why that would be the word. Let's go with Helldivers, which is, like I said, an absolute play. I don't believe it's better than Armored Core, but it's probably a little bit better than Tales of Arise, in my opinion. And I can straight up tell you, the word I'm gonna use to describe this game is obviously fucking democracy. You cannot... Democracy. It's a show of the game. You have to play the game just for the show. If you don't like the mechanics, if you don't like to play a little bit of Osumania in the middle of a game to select your skill, at least play the game because of how good of a show it is. It's amazing show. The explosions during levels. The way the people scream while automatons try to push you. And just the spectacle of getting into the hellpot and getting launched down and the loading screen. I kid you not, I was googling this sequence so often because it gives me goosebumps whenever I hear those Hey, Helldivers to Hellpots. I repeat, Helldivers to Hellpots. I love it so much. Then the music kicks in and you get launched and you hear the fucking scream of that Hellpot crashing into the ground. Man, this is just next level hype. If you play the game, you just get hooked on the idea that you need to spread democracy. That's it. One word to describe the game, it's the fucking democracy. Let's go. Another game that got me hooked like crazy. Deadlock. But I don't believe it's a good game. Well, it's not out yet, so it shouldn't even be good. Wait, that's Helldivers 1? What do you mean Helldivers 1? Maybe it is Helldivers 1. I don't know. I played the second one. That's Helldivers 2. I don't know. And maybe I have the wrong icon. Maybe I have the wrong icon. Oh, that's Helldivers 2. Anyway, Deadlock. It's not out yet, so I'm not gonna be too harsh on it. From what I was playing, to me it has a lot of potential, but it also had a lot of issues. It also already had a lot of toxic people. Loads of toxic people, to be honest. Like, you try to play a normal game, and people call you out for a bad build, because you just came out with your own build, and no streamer have played the build, so fuck you. Like, it's atrocious to play any kind of game like that, just because of that. Like, this is the worst feeling of playing any remotely competitive game. Like, this game is not even competitive. You have a ranked game, but it's like nobody plays the game. There are no tournaments. Who the fuck are you kidding? The streamers are getting tournaments because they make money off of it. You're not a streamer and you're not gonna play in a tournament probably. But people are just like, oh my god, you are playing a new character and you don't build the build that the builder has played. Like, if you're a person that tries to bring up new builds to the game, but you don't have like 10,000 following on Twitch, fuck you. You're gonna have a very bad time, even if your build works. Even if your build works, hey, hey. Too bad. Oh yeah, it was pretty toxic. But the game itself, it was cool. I got really hooked on it. Like, it was another game that got me hooked pretty well. I just love making builds so much. Holy shit. And there are so many options in this game to build something so stupid. As you're like, holy shit, those two things interact? But then you build something and those two things don't interact. And you are interacting in such a weird way that it's like, whatever. The balancing is a very problematic part of this game for me, because it's a very Dota-like design. Where... yeah, about the good game. Yeah, the design, the philosophy. I don't believe they will change that philosophy. So I personally don't enjoy this kind of games where somebody has a build and you can't do shit about it because that's the design of the game. It's like, yeah, it's not balanced. It's not balanced in both ways. So fuck you. You better fuck the enemy first. Yeah. It's gonna stay not great, not terrible. Maybe in the future when the game actually comes out, we're gonna change it. For now, it's gonna stay here. Let's continue with a quick one. Heroes of Might and Magic 1. Which is also gonna go into not great, not terrible. Hello, Navi. How you doing? You finished or you just have a break? I would say that it's not a great, not terrible game, because it's more like an idea of the game. Very not polished. A lot of stuff is not there that you might know from Heroes of Might and 3. It's just a very good concept for the game, and there's just a lot of work they had to do to deliver much better game that was the Heroes Might and Magic 2. So yeah, I would say one word to describe Heroes 1 is pretty much a concept. It was a fantastic concept. It played good enough. It explored the game in a way that allowed them to create a much more compelling second game. It was a good concept. Home 1 and 2 are almost proof of concept for free. Yeah, that's pretty much what I believe is the case. Like, those games are almost identical. Home 3 just takes everything about the first game and the second one, cranks good stuff to 11, and is like, yeah, fuck the bad stuff. Obviously there are still bad stuff in the third one, but like, hey, the ghosts killing your fucking peons and they resurrect one ghost per one killed peon. Holy shit. It does. Obviously you have the greater vampires, but not this level of atrocious. Oh yeah, then the second game comes. I would say that it's pretty good. I would say that the second game is already pretty good. It takes a lot of stuff from the first game, makes it much better. The campaign is pretty good, to be honest. Like, in the campaign and DLC, pretty good stuff already. Have levels where, holy shit, you really need to play well to get ahead of the enemies, because holy crap, and they don't play around. They are not playing around. Yeah, it's a good game. Cool stuff. If you just want to know from where Heroes 3 came, then play this one as well. Returnal here sucks, so I'm gonna go, but good luck with the list. Thanks. You have fun as well. So that's pretty much the case for Heroes. And then Heroes 3 came around. Where the fuck is Heroes 3? I wanna do all three of them. Yay, Heroes 3. Okay, let's. Hey, listen, democracy, a little bit higher. Listen, democracy. Hey, Heroes 3. You have a leader, but the democracy, way higher. You don't get to be a hero in a democracy. Hey, no, everybody's. Because democracy stands on the shoulders of giants. Yeah, Heroes 3 is a must play in my opinion. So it's just such a good game because it's a strategy and tactical game that is not complicated. Even if you don't enjoy this kind of thinking stuff, it's not really a thinking game at some point. You can really make it an action game where you just press buttons, press your units to go somewhere, and it feels almost like it's almost always action. You're gonna lose a little bit more fights, but if you're gonna crush your enemy with sheer numbers, go for it. It's just so user-friendly. There's so much stuff, but there's also so much depth. So easy to grasp, but then it's so hard to master. Just an awesome game. It's an awesome piece of media. Music is fantastic. It's a must-play game. Yeah, so if I am to select one word for Heroes 3, it has to be masterpiece. Or timeless, I don't know. Or both. It's an amazing game. Everybody should play it at least once to like understand the concept of this genre at least. Like this defines a whole genre in my opinion. This is a starting point if you want to create this kind of gameplay loop. You just kind of have to experience this game firsthand if you're ever gonna like try to understand where other games like that came from. This is your starting. Anyway, but on the other end of the spectrum we have the second Yuck game, Disciples Liberation. Okay, maybe it's not Yuck, maybe it's just bad. It for sure is better than Wolfenstein, the Youngblood. Not that bad. It is playable at least, so I'm gonna give it that. It's bad, however. I am fighting with myself to put it here. I am fighting with myself because holy shit. Oh, it's not Disciples Golden. No, it's Disciples Liberation, which is, oh my god. I'm gonna leave it at bad because I really like if you play this game just to play this game, not that terrible. I only started to really think about this game lowly when I started to think about how this game came to existence and what this game tries to be and what this game, from where this game comes from, pretty much as well. Because then I kind of started to understand that this game doesn't work at all. Like, you have elements from King's Bounty and then you have elements from turn-based Disciples, and they try to mash those together in a way that just doesn't work. Because Disciples Golden is pretty much the same for Disciples 2 as Home 1 is for Home 2 and 3. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's kind of like the proof of concept. Yeah, but Disciples 2 is good. And I wouldn't even be mad about Disciples 2 being like a little bit worse version of it. But Disciples Liberation completely like doesn't understand what it tries to be. That's pretty much like the biggest issue with this game. It's like you have elements of I believe you can level up your units whenever your hero levels up. Oh fuck. You just have a real it's a turn-based, like a design turn into a real action. So some mechanics just no longer makes any sense. Like mines. In a game where nothing holds you back to just wait, you have so many mechanics that are gated by the time, and that's it. Like, you just wait for a little bit and then you can use it. It's just the worst when you start to really understand how those things works and why they are there. Why they shouldn't be there? Oh my god, just... Who made this game? Like, for whom? Who made? Why? And there's this... No, this is... I'm gonna leave it here just because if you don't really care, maybe it's a good game. Like, it's not like atrocious to the point where it's like... You cannot even play the game. Somehow it is still playable. Its playability hides those issues very well. It's really just when you played all of those types of games, you start to notice that Oh, wait, why the fuck do I wait for my... Why do I have to wait for resources? Just like, you know, leave the game open and just go for a walk, come back, and suddenly you can buy new units. Like, the gameplay is like, hey, there are fountains that heal your party, and those fountains have increased time to recharge based on the level of difficulty you selected. And this recharge time actually changes when you change the difficulty, because you can change the difficulty during the game. So if you really want just use the same fountain twice quickly, you just decrease the difficulty level for a couple of minutes until the fountain recharges, you use it, and then you change the difficulty back to the one that you're playing. And it's like, why? Why there's a mechanic like this? Why it's time gated? Why it's not combat gated? Why I can use it like 17 times in a row without any consequences, even when I don't even fight, and it's gated to the fucking time. It feels like a try to steal King's Bounty Legend design, but without the timed quests and things like that. Yeah, kinda. But also, King's Bounty Legend played very fucking well around your rage. Because you can always... There's not so... I would argue that there's not that awful lot of quests in King's Bounty Legend that are time restricted. There are a couple of them, but not the amount that you make you sweat your pants. But the rage mechanics play very well to that. I would say that the rage mechanic is there to make sure that you... If you want to go against the clock, you really have to go quickly because of the rage. Because it is gonna go down. Or you really have to wait, because, well, you need to wait for the mana to regen and the rage to go down. And the fountain doesn't just respawn like 5 minutes, every 5 minutes, because you waited. But there's also, in Legends, you cannot generate passively income, like, just cannot stand around and generate wealth. Oh, you have a mine! But just wait around for 5 minutes and you're gonna be able to upgrade your unit. No. No, this is a bad... Okay. If I was to select one word, describe Disciples' Liberation, what that word would be? Damn, now I have no idea. I kinda have no idea what that word... be... Maybe misguided is the good word. Because it seems they had some kind of idea for this game, but it's like... already misguided. With mechanics that never should be in this game. Somebody like took from somewhere else and was like, hey, it's gonna work. It's not this kind of game. Sorry. But yeah. Okay, let's continue. Disjointed, maybe. I'm not sure how disjointed, like, the meaning of disjointed. Not exactly sure about disjointed because I just don't really know the word myself too well. I don't know in which case I would use the word. That makes sense to you. Anyway, let's continue. Borderlands 3 is here, but it's not really the entire Borderlands 3, although I believe I fixed the entirety. Yes, I did. I played Borderlands 3 on launch, so yeah. As a base game, not the base game that is here, it's the DLCs, because I never played DLCs before. I finally got a new PC, and finished the DLCs. And well, I am gonna go if it's good because I am a huge fan of Borderlands. That's it. I'm gonna sweat it. I'm a huge Borderlands fan. It's just good because I do understand that a lot of people do not like this kind of story and stuff, and even I didn't like the story that much in the Borderlands 3. But it's good. I would say the DLCs are very good. I don't know how they always do it, but they explore various concepts. Like there's this Wild West DLC. And it's just... I feel like they understand the genre they're trying to poke fun at very well. And it always makes me chuckle just how well they understand this stuff and how well they create a parody of this. And the gunplay is just good. I like the gunplay in Borderlands, so yeah. It's gonna be good. One word I would use to describe this is... I don't know, I'm not... Oh. Theme parks. Oh shit, that is a good one. God damn, that is a good one. Hey, that's a good... Oh shit, that is a very good word. Very good. 2 words, but whatever. Yeah, theme parks is very good. Okay, let's continue with... the second yak. The Seekers of the Storm. Oh, it's even worse than Youngblood. Because because it destroys the base game. Like you can still enjoy Wolfenstein the New Colossus and Wolfenstein the New Order, even though the Youngblood exists. But Seekers of the Storm takes it away from you. Like you can no longer play Risk of Rain 2. That was before Risk like Seekers of the Storm. You cannot. Yeah, because Seekers broke the OG roar too. That was actually good. That's why it's yak. Like I don't care how bad it is on its own. It's the fact that it also destroyed the old one. Like, holy shit. Like, you cannot make this one up. It's just so bad. I refunded the game. Also because, well, the game came out and like a day later, the game is suddenly cheaper. Because they fucked up. It's like, hey, just refund the game and buy it again if you want to pay less. Like, what? Fuck no. I never bought it again. I was so... Oh my god. So many mechanics don't work correctly. Yeah, this is just the worst. I don't even have a word for this. It's... a complete disappointment. It's like, it's weird because disappointment don't really captivate this as well, because in 9 hells would I ever imagine that because of the release of the fucking Seekers of the Storm I will no longer be able to enjoy the base game. Like, you cannot go back. There's no turning back. It's full throttle into the sun. Destroy everything. Leave nothing behind. Fuck this. Oh, yeah, it's bad. It's fucking yuck. It's disgrace. That's what it is. A fucking disgrace to the gaming as a whole. This is why preserving games is important. Because you need to be able to play the old version whenever the fuck you want, because you have no idea when the developer will come come and just like, oh yeah, fuck you. That's pretty much what it is. Okay, continue. God, I forgot this was so bad. Jeez. Let's do a fun one. Pizza Possum. If you have a loved one, Pizza Possum is a must play. Period. If you have somebody to play this game with, play it with that person. Have a great time. It's amazing. It's fun. It's a fucking Pizza Possum. It's a pizza and a fucking possum. This game is so fun. Together with somebody, it's amazing. Just play it. I cannot recommend this stuff. It's a great time. One word to describe this game is fun. Pure, utter fun. Like utter maniac, being a menace to everybody around. Eating loads of food. And having a good time with somebody. That's pretty much what this game is. Let's do the next one. That is a multiplayer one. Which is... Wait, there was one more. But there are actually two more. One is Takes Two, but the other I wanted right now is Unravel 2. Which I feel like is just good. I didn't have that much fun. Okay, below Greedfall, but above Grand Blue Fantasy, for me at least. It's a little bit slow. I would say that the mechanics are like engaging, but not that impressive. Like it's a good game to spend time with somebody, but as a game, I would say that's a little bit like... The problematic part is always that you create a co-op game, then it's like for a pair, for a couple, so there might be a skill discrepancy. But the problem is always pretty much, hey, how do you create a game that is like engaging for both of the people, even if one of them is a fucking menace in games, the other is like, oh, what is a controller? Those games always have to play it safe. I just drank my entire water. Let's go to the kitchen, grab another bottle. Another bottle. I don't know if you hear me or not. Or do you hear it? Alright, now I'm back, so it should be okay. Yeah, it's like, it's good enough, I would say. If you're looking for a game to play with somebody, a good game. Ooh? Unravel 2. What? Ooh, what? What? Okay, and the last game that is for couples, it Takes Two, which is also a must play if you have somebody you like to play with. It Takes Two is great. A solid co-op experience. It has a lot of mechanics, like shitloads of mechanics actually. The sheer volume of things they created for the game is just abnormal. It's both beautiful, it can be slow, it can be quick, it can be funny. It has some of the best characters ever! Yeah, you're gonna have a good time with it. Okay. If I was to describe It Takes Two with one word, it would have to be loaded. Probably loaded, because of the sheer volume of mechanics you have to explore and you have to play around. It's just every single moment is something new. It plays on the expectations. There's so much stuff they pushed into the game that you start to wonder, how does some game release and their state is like an absolute disaster, and then you play a game like It Takes Two and there's just so many mechanics and all of them seem to work. Just like Wait. Is it actually easy to create a game like this or what? No. Is it possible to create a game that works and has a lot of stuff? I would say it's just loaded. Okay, next game. Let's do the Old Blood. Oh, the Old Blood. For me, it's a must play. Probably it might be higher than Helldivers. Maybe lower. Oh, I think Helldivers is a little bit too good. I think Old Blood is here. It's a must play. It's not as must play as Helldivers 2, in my opinion. Because Helldivers 2 it just has this aura to it. That's like menace of a game. The democracy, how it's widespread. There's something about Helldivers. But Old Blood, to me, Old Blood is the best Wolfenstein out of the new Wolfensteins. It just crystallized the essence of those games so very well. It found its own way. Unlike the New Order, which is a very similar game to Doom, the Old Blood went a little bit to the other side. Like it went with different music. So it found its own way. It repaired a lot of stuff from the New Order. So it ends up being this very short but very intense game. And I just think that it's like, you just have to play it. It's short enough that you just kinda cannot say, oh, I don't have enough time for this. It's like 4 hours, maybe 5. It's loaded, it's packed. It's just great. I would say that if I am to describe this game with one word, it would probably have to be kind of like an essence of something. I don't know. And maybe not the essence, like a mastery? Yeah, mastery. Mastery, I think, is a good word. Because they kind of mastered this type of gameplay loop here. I feel like the New Order. They just or maybe crystallize. I think crystallize might be better. Yeah, let's go with crystallize, because they just took New Order and they shrinked it into this compact version that is better, faster, but it's also smaller. Distillation. Oh, that one is great as well. Yeah, Distillation is also great. I like that. Well, yeah. Cause like, it is pretty much the New Order, but it's like condensed into this form that doesn't take so much time. If you want to just explore what is the best part of Wolfenstein, of the new Wolfensteins, if you play Old Blood, you're gonna get the best of the best. It doesn't get better than this. In my opinion, it doesn't. With that said, let's go into... Maybe let's do all the Wolfensteins. The New Order. I would say it's good. I don't think it's the New Order, the best of. The best of New Orders? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you mean the Old Blood is the New Order, but the best of the New Order. I would say the New Order is good. Like, really good game. If you're into shooters, I think you should play it, definitely. I don't think it's a must play because it's like much bigger game than the Old Blood. It's not as refined as the Old Blood. That's why I don't think you have to play. It. It's a great comeback for the series, that's for sure, because I believe this was the first of the reboot. And it's packed. It is full of cool stuff. Graphically, it's so great. The story is pretty good, but then you have the timelines, and the timelines are pretty I would say the double timeline is a pretty mediocre concept, for me at least. Because it's not not very well polished, to be honest. Like, you have two different characters, but they both end up in the same way. So both behave the same way at some points. Like, at least expect them to be a little bit different. Like, by the way, it doesn't matter who the fuck I save because they pretty much the same character. But there are a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff like the driving dude. Yeah, I would say it's a good game. If you like this kind of game, if you play Old Blood and you liked Old Blood, definitely play the New Order. But if you like didn't like Old Blood, then probably not a game for you. If I was to select one word for the New Order, it would probably be a great comeback, just comeback, because of the way that this game just destroyed, in my opinion, the expectancy of the game. A great reboot. It's a great way to come back to this kind of genre. Great way to reinvent it a little bit. Well, awesome. But then it comes for the new Colossus, which I didn't like, sorry. I'm not gonna go with the bad, because it's not like the worst. But it is not that good. Combat. Yeah. I kinda wonder what is the lag. I see some of the messages you sent. Salam, it is so late. I feel like they're a couple of minutes. In comparison to Twitch, at least, I feel like they're very late. Kinda wonder. I don't know how to check it. Anyway, the new Colossus is a game. It's a worse New Order in a lot of ways. It feels like 30-45 seconds. Holy shit. It's a lot. That is an awful lot of delay. Anyway, yeah, it's just a devolution, like I said once already. The one word to describe this game is devolution, because everything in this game is just pretty much a devolution from the previous game. Somehow they made the Old Blood and they kind of forget how to make a good Wolfenstein. Like, the weapons, not as refined. The story takes too long. Like, the exposition of the story, like, dragging the game. Like, you have action. You don't have any bosses. The cutscenes are kinda cringy, let's be honest. Like, this is a dude talking about fucking reptilians? Oh, come on. Like, really gets weird. Fucking Hitler. Damn. Like, you kinda expect a menace, but it's just weird. Vomits on the floor and then lies next to it? Like, what? Like, I understand kinda like showing the bodies in a bad way, but I don't believe this is the way to do it. You're kinda starting to wonder, how the fuck you won a war? Like, that's not the way you won a war, right? Like, So yeah, this is pretty much a devolution. The next one would be... Oh, I did all Wolfensteins already. Okay, let's go with Frostpunk, which I think is... It's a pretty good game. It's a pretty good game. Yeah, let's get it maybe a little bit above. Yeah, it's a little bit worse than peak Regalia, but it's a little bit better than Greedfall, especially the pacing. I would say the game really did a very good job with pacing. Weirdly enough, for a strategy game, I didn't knew that it was possible to create an RTS where the pacing is just amazing. Especially that you have a pause system. Pause. Because suddenly you have this. How do you create a pacing that is engaging for people, despite the fact that you don't know at what speed people are gonna play? People can go quite quickly for stuff. They can sit on a spacebar forever, and you have just no idea how quickly they are gonna go. But somehow this game still nails it, and I feel like it's mostly because they just kinda nailed very well those timings of showing you when something will happen in the future, so that you have a little bit of stress, because well, it goes from it's okay to holy shit, it's gonna be an atrocious weather in like a little bit of time, and then it goes into like, oh, there is nothing in the forecast for the next, like, I don't know, something of time, right? Space of time. So it just slowly goes, but the pacing just feels good for the player. So it's a second game that does a very good pacing, but Frostpunk also does. It's a very good strategy as well. And for the one word, I would go probably with what would I go for? I don't want to go with pacing again, because pacing was with the Tales of Arise. But maybe something like regret. Maybe regret. Because you regret so much stuff in this game. Like, you build a building, then you learn about a new mechanic, and you're like, holy shit. If I just like placed it a little bit to the left, now I would have everything. It would be good, but it's not. And you regret this. And then you do a decision that you don't know how it's gonna go. And then you regret it. Regret. Dear humanity, we regret coming to Earth. We regret. I don't remember the entire one. We regret coming to Earth, and we most definitely regret. We're gonna get our ass kicked. Ooh, oh. I don't remember this one. Sorry. Regret. Yeah, it's regret. Next. Let's do a quick one. Bad North. Not great, not terrible, but just because I have no idea. I didn't play it enough of this game, to be honest. I had a good fun with this game, so probably, but I haven't played enough of it. I had a lot of fun, but I don't know how it holds up in a long run. I don't even remember why I stopped playing. It was probably, it wasn't like I got tired of the game or mad at the game or something. It was more like I just had something else to do in life and I just forget about the game. It was more like this kind of situation. But from the brief moment I did play the game, it was pretty good. for the time I have played the game, it was fun. So that's why I'm gonna go here. Because I just don't know. Other than that. And then let's go with SpellForce. Conquest of Eo. I like that. No, it's not bad. It's actually good. Better than... Dear humanity, we regret being alien bastards. We regret coming to Earth, and we most definitely regret that the corpse just blew up our rugged ass fleet. Ooh, Yes. I think it's better than Frostpunk for me at least. Still not as good as Styx-Regalia. But yeah. If you enjoy Heroes of Might and Magic and this type of gameplay, then I can see you enjoying SpellForce as a single player game. It's pretty good. It's not really Heroes, but it's like close enough for me. I had fun. I played quite a lot of... I haven't finished it because it's like... at first I was like, wait, it's gonna be... How long it's gonna take? I didn't know, but then the map just... Well, you expand the map and expand and expand and you're like, holy shit, will this ever like stop? And then your tower just starts floating in the air and you learn that you can move your base and you're like, holy shit, this is gonna be a long one. So yeah, I never finished the game, but I had a lot of fun. Plays, in my opinion, very similar to Heroes. So if you enjoy generally taking care of like a big map and from time to time just having a small tactical combat, yeah, this is definitely a game for you. If I was to use one word, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know with this one. I don't have a word. It's not a title that generates very strong emotion. Maybe standard. Maybe maybe the best word to describe this game is standard. It's a game. Plays like a game. If you like this type of game, you're gonna enjoy it. It's not an awful lot of stuff to be mad about. Why the fuck I feel like this is not a song from this? I don't know why. Oh, it's okay. I was afraid because this is a Riot Games list of songs that are not gonna get you striked. YouTube. So I was like, what is this song? And I got me spooked. Oh yeah. It's a SpellForce. Yeah, it's a pretty standard game. You're just gonna have fun if you like this kind of game. If you don't like this kind of game, you're probably not gonna have fun. It's a game that is not talked about very much because it's like not that polarizing. It's like it doesn't build strong emotions. It's good enough that you play it on your time. You don't really talk about it because it's not like didn't make you go crazy or something. It's a good game. Next. Let's do this. Ninja Gaiden Sigma. From me, it's always gonna be a must play. If you have never played this game... Damn, do I go this high? Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Okay, let's go here. I still think democracy is a pretty much... Let's go. Democracy is a pretty big thing. But I think it's a must play. If you haven't played it, if you want to go into action games, sorry, but you just kind of have to play Ninja Gaiden in general. Be it Sigma, be it Black, if you can play Black. Whichever one you choose, you just kind of have to play it because it's like an astonishing feat of gameplay. The way the smoothness of the animations, the sound design, the movement patterns, the combats, like it's just so amazing to explore. The way it plays around exploration. Some of the scarabs and the way they are hidden from you, like places where the scarabs can be. Holy shit. And the way the difficulty levels play with your expectancies. Like, you open a chest, and it's like, hey, there's a bat. Oh yeah. Why the fuck there are bats in my chest? Why the fuck there's a fish in my chest? Yeah, NG is tight. Yeah, just like the latex suit. Yeah, it is tight. Would I go with the tight as the word? I guess it can be tight, yeah, just like the latex suit of Ryu. The gameplay is tight. Challenges are tight. Timings are strict. Bosses are relentless. Enemies want to kill you on every step. They don't play around. They like, oh, you know what? We are not here for you to beat us. No, we are here to beat you. You better be prepared. The first enemy on the highest difficulty mops the floor with you. You're like, oh yeah, this enemy is here to teach me how to play the game. Oh, he's here to teach you. Shut the fuck up. Oh yeah, tight is a good word, yeah. You got me here. Salam. It's a very good word. Then, go Ninja Gaiden 2. Sigma 2 was, for me it was just good, to be honest. And the enemies will fuck you up. Oh, they will, yeah. Oh, they will. Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 is not so great for me, at least. Like, I didn't have so much fun with it. To me, the way the systems work, just when you go from Ultimate Technique, when you know how to play the first game very well, the second game is very trivialized because you just go from UT to UT. And the enemies just die, and there's nothing they can do to you, and the gameplay just starts to get a little bit boring because of that, because you don't really do a lot of combos and shit. You just hold the Y button, collect all of the souls from around you, and you just unleash hell on enemies, and that's all of the gameplay you're gonna do. And when nothing happens, you just damage one enemy enough to blow up his limb, and then you're like, oh yeah, let's go into UT again. This UT spree. So it's very trivialized in comparison to the first game, as well as it changes a lot about how the game is built in general. It's no longer this survival type of exploration. It's a strict action where you go from one arena to another. And I would say that for me it takes away a lot of fun from the game because the pacing starts to get a little bit weird. There's just not that much downtime in the game. So if I am to select a word for Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, it would have to be different. Different is a good word. I would say different. Because it's just no longer Ninja Gaiden. It is more an action game, like God of War maybe. I wouldn't say that it's much worse, but I would definitely say that it is different. If you expect the same from the second game, you'll be a little bit disappointed, to be honest. If you come from a game like God of War, I would say that we'll be happy with where the game went. That's my opinion. So let's go into the third one, which is Razor's Edge, which I think it's not great, not terrible. I did not enjoy this game. A little bit like with Wolfenstein II, to be honest. Like, I had an awful lot of problems getting used to the new systems in the Razor's Edge. A lot of stuff is changed. The pacing, in my opinion, is absolutely destroyed. There's really not that much pacing in the game. You think about pacing being this thing where you goes from hyper action to then a little bit of downtime, you run around, nothing happens, you can explore a little bit. But in Razor's Edge, even climbing up is like action-packed. The game just tries to be then action-packed to the square, like action squared. Like, you wanted some downtime? Turn off the game if you want downtime. This is fucking action, bro. Like, that's how playing the game feels. It's tiring. At some point, I believe that I was playing Razor's Edge while I was also playing SpellForce, and I loved that I was able to just turn off Razor's Edge and have some downtime of pacing in SpellForce, because I was like, man, this boss just like mopped the floor with me 15 times. I finally kill him, and then you go into action. It's like, come on, bro, let me just walk for a bit, please. Let me like explore something, please. So yeah, if I have to select one word for Razor's Edge, it's action squared. There's action everywhere. Like, you cannot climb up without action. Something is always happening. For some people it might be good, but for me it was tiring. Fuck. Let's go with Ghostrunner. And I'm gonna definitely say that it's a good game, but how good is it? And bosses will most definitely fuck you up. Oh, they will. Holy shit, they will. In the Gaiden Razor's Edge, the bosses will mop the floor with you. And even the regular ass enemies will. Because of how the game works and how... I don't know, like Eo is just so much different in Razor's Edge for some reason. The gameplay is just so much different. You need to really learn the new mechanics to not get absolutely destroyed. But a very big analysis for another time. The game. Ghostrunner, I would say. Okay, I had quite a lot of fun with this one. But it is a little bit junky. I would say it's a little bit worse. A little bit on par with Frostpunk, I would say. And the one word I would use to describe it is freedom. Like, you can do whatever you want. You just asked to go somewhere, and it's pretty much up to you how you're gonna do it. You have tools, and you just play around. There are things you need to like do a certain way, like some enemies just need to be hit from behind, whatever. But in general, the location and the way you go through the location, completely up to you. You just need to get to the other side of the room, or you just need to kill everybody in the room. And however you want to do it, just do it. Absolute freedom. It's a good game. I definitely recommend playing it. The next is, let's go with Mafia 2. which was not as good as Mafia 1. It was enjoyable enough, I would say. It was good enough. The good music was good, but the problem with the game was that they just made a little bit of weird choices with stuff like the crosshair being in the like a little bit lower. No, it was up. I believe it was up, actually, not lower. You were not supposed to see more of the game, of the world. You were actually supposed to see less. Like, it was a very weird choice. The story was a little bit weird to me, but it was good enough. It's a good enough game. I will definitely say that for me it wasn't as captivating as the first one. It still wasn't the worst. Something was missing there. I don't know what exactly it was. Maybe the fact that you never really were under any boss. You were never really felt like you were in Mafia. It was more like you're just around Mafia. It wasn't like Thomas Angelo style of, hey, I speak to my boss. I talk to my boss about Mafia stuff. Like he was missing this kind of stuff. Like Vito was doing whatever the fuck he wanted to, instead of what he was told for quite a long time. With some exception here and there where Thomas Angelo just goes on his own. Oh yeah, it was good. Then it's Mafia 1, which is... I don't think it's a must-play. Personally, I don't think it's must-play. But I think it's good. How good it is? I think it's on par with Wolfenstein. Yeah, I'm gonna get it a little bit lower than Wolfenstein, the New Order. Mostly because it was a little bit annoying from time to time to play. I'll be honest, there are some mechanics that are just a little bit annoying. The police, absolute menace. Like, at some point you're like, I haven't done anything. What the fuck is happening? Why they are chasing me again? Like, that's... Sometimes the police was just obnoxiously alert. Like, I don't mind it that they actually react to you. But sometimes, man, like, people would often just jump under your hoods. And the police is like, hey, fuck you. Stop right there, you criminal scum. So... yeah, I would say that this game is good. Right? The story is pretty good. I don't know what kind of word I would describe it. Mafia, I guess it's Mafia. That's what is Mafia. That's what Mafia is. This is the most classic game you can master. Let's go into... What do I want to go? Let's do a quick one, Returnal. I'm gonna place it not great, not terrible, because I just don't really have an opinion. It's it played good by the... like, I would probably say that for some people it's a must play. But for me, I don't like horror games, and there are some horror elements in this game that I was just unable to play through because I just don't like this kind of stuff. So I would say that it's held back by it because I was just unable to finish it. I was never able to get through the horror bits, which are, I believe they are not that long. but they are there. I was like, no, I don't want to go into that fucking house again. No, I will not go into that house again. I will not. And I did not play the game. I just stopped playing the game. So I cannot tell you how good the gameplay is. Because, well, I haven't played that much of it. Returnal equals nightmare. Yeah. Yup. Next, let's go with Loop Hero, which I'm gonna put on a lower end of good. Mostly because it seems like I kinda enjoyed the game, but then I kinda didn't enjoy the game. And the problem I had was that the game brings up a kinda new genre of how you play. Let's Loop Hero, let's go! It's like a new genre of gameplay, like you don't really play games like that very often where you have to build an environment around your character, and I just felt very lost in the game. In terms of just understanding how to even interpret building the world. I just didn't understand this stuff well enough, and the game, I believe that the game just doesn't really teach the player this kind of way of having fun inside it. You get the best basic stuff, like place a building, like do stuff, but then it's like, how do you like properly build? How do you like properly use the mechanics? How do you properly place enemies around the level? I feel like the game do not teach the player enough to just let him go later on. Like, oh yeah, he will definitely explore this stuff from this moment. I personally just had a problem getting to the point where I knew what I was doing and how I was exploring it, and failing at what, still knowing what I was doing. I feel like there's this point where you just genuinely do not understand the concept, that you just kind of lost and you have no idea how to even explore that concept. It's also weird that the most optimal way to play is to get a lot of items in your village. Though I love Loop Hero. I enjoyed playing it a lot, I did. But the problem I had was just that I just genuinely did not understand. I guess I didn't understand what I was trying to achieve on the map that would build my hero. I didn't understand what makes my hero good as well. Like, you have your hero, but it's like the stats on him, like, I had a very hard time understanding the stats of the hero and knowing when the hero is powerful and when the hero is not powerful. Because there's a lot of stuff that is like very weird. Some abilities that make your character like shield bash, some abilities don't work very well. I don't remember exactly, but there were some abilities that troll you, like you want the ability to happen in this place, but then it happens in different place and you're kinda screwed. And it just kinda stacks in this weird way where I have no idea how to build my character even. So I don't even know how to place stuff around the map. Because I just never know how powerful the hero truly is. It's also the case of, is the hero good versus cards you play and enemies you spawn? Yeah, that's probably true as well. Very true, because that's the only thing your hero is good against. That's the only comparison your hero has. There's a lot of combinations and experimentation. Yep, if you are not willing to experiment on your own like I did, then you're not gonna have fun. If you love experimenting and exploring new ways, then it probably is a game for you. I had a problem just like getting to the point where I would do a meaningful exploration. And I just feel like the game could do a little bit better job with that. Probably. I was confused as fuck, I guess. And I never really had time to get into it. I think the best word to describe it for me was new. Because that was so new to me. This idea of this gameplay loop was so out of place for me. I never before played something like this. And I was not unable to understand it, to be honest. Like, I just didn't get it. At some point, I just didn't get it. Because it was so new and I had to think in such new ways about this game that I wasn't able to understand it. I love that it's new, by the way. It's not like a bad thing. Saying that it's bad because of that. I think it's the only issue is that it would be great if the tutorials were a little bit more aware of the fact that this is such a new concept to understand, that it would be pretty good to teach new players how to have fun in it. In my opinion, by the way. Like, there are some games that don't teach you shit and expect you to have fun. And that's the way to have fun in them, so optional. I guess it's just me not having a lot of time as well. I love playing full tank rogue. Never got. I don't believe I got a rogue. Maybe I did. Wait, I got. I think I got rogue. If I remember correctly, I got. I never thought about making him tank. Speaking of, let's go Dark Souls. Yes, Dark Souls is a must play. Hey, what the fuck did you expect? Dark Souls 1, it's a must play. You cannot not play this game because this is such a generational thing. Like, this is gaming at its peak. Like, this is a new genre. You have to play the game at least once, in my opinion, to explore why it's so popular, why people enjoy it, why people don't enjoy it. But it's also just very well done game. Like, sorry, but the way each enemy is created with such windows, like with such animations that are so good. The game is fair. You never lose. I mean, okay, chaos, the bed of chaos is fucking garbage. But in general, the game is fair. You know why you died. You know what is wrong. You know what you're gonna focus on. Improvement is the name of the game. Get it twisted, lock in. You can do anything you want. The effect on the whole gaming industry is just insane. That is true. Yes. It spawned the new genre. Like, what else can you expect from a game? To be so good that you spawn a new genre of games. You just, I mean, it was the Demon Souls before, but I believe the Dark Souls were the one that just really made it even more popular, right? You have to play it, that's it. One word to describe Dark Souls would be improve. Get good. Get good, kurwa. Get good. It's your fault. Get it twisted. You can achieve anything you want. Get it twisted. You are a pawn in a universe chess match. Get it twisted. You can achieve anything you want to. You can do anything you set your mind to. If you duct tape your mouth when you fall asleep, if you wait 90 minutes before you drink your first coffee in the morning, you can do anything. Get good. That's how good the game is. And then the second game is... finish the game by only attacking with a dagger. Get him. You can do it. You can do everything you want. You can do everything you set your mind to. Finish the game without leveling. Get it twisted. finish level the game without finishing it. Get it twisted? The game is your canvas. You can paint the entire environment with the blood of the enemies. Get it twisted. Lock in. Just lock in. Just do it. Okay, the next one is obviously Dark Souls 2, which I never finished. I started playing it. And... well, I understood why it's so polarizing, that's for sure. Like, I got to the moment where I was able to confidently say that I understand why it was such a polarizing title. And I absolutely agree that it is polarizing as fuck. It for sure is a game that is like, hey, you enjoy Dark Souls? There's not much Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, hey? You kinda have to relearn everything. But I would say that it's really all comes from the more I think about it, the way I played the game, because, well, I just kinda went in with the same mindset as with the Dark Souls 1. And that was my main issue, why I was unable to like proceed with the game very steadily, was that I was playing Dark Souls 1 while playing Dark Souls 2. I feel like that was my biggest issue while playing it, and I feel like maybe a lot of people as well had the same mindset that, hey, it worked in the first game, it should work in the second game, and when it doesn't work, you don't get good, cry about it. And I think that's not the get good energy. And I'll be honest, I think that as a game that explores different ways and asks you to get good in a new environment, I would say that it's a pretty good game. Because you need to learn new stuff. For now, I would say Dark Souls 2 is, as well as Dark Souls 1, must play. Because somehow, not only once they made you get good, they made it twice. You must get twice as good. How many get goods do you have? Get it twisted, you have too many get goods. Get it twisted, you're a pawn. You are not good enough. You beat Dark Souls 1, but you ain't shit in Dark Souls 2. Get good. I'm gonna finish it later this year. Five total? 3 Dark Souls, 1 Demon Souls, and Elden Ring. So 5 get goods, yeah. 5 get goods. I think it's a must play, like, somehow, and also the game looks cool. Let's go with Solar Rush, which is confusing. Very confusing. But I think it's a good game. I would say it's on par with... Damn, that's a good question. I think it's like a Ghostrunner type of situation, no? Yeah, I think it's a Ghostrunner type of situation where you have a solid game. You have quite solid story, and like understanding of this story can get you like invested and stuff. It's just a solid title. It's like not the best of the best. It's not like not doing something in a way that makes you like, you need to study this, you know, like if you play video games, you have to experience this, because this is like the gaming pinnacle. Like, we play games to experience this type of stuff. I feel like there's not that much stuff inside Solar Ash that are like that level of good, but it's just good enough so that you can, like, it's this typical 7.5 game like an anime. Like you just played 10 out of 10 anime. You just watched 10 out of 10 anime, and like, what else can I watch? And it's like there's like this 7.5 sitting around there. Like, hey, I'm not so great, but I am good enough, right? And like, yeah, you're good enough. Come here. That's pretty much Solar Rush for me. It's not a game that you're gonna lose your sleep over, but when there's nothing to play, you know you can play Solar Rush. Anyway, one word to describe Solar Rush from me, it would have to be standing still. That's 2 words. Whatever. Standing still is a great explanation of the game. Those who played the game will understand. Those who have never played the game, you can only judge. You can only judge. What the fuck? You can only like guess. And just guess. Okay, just guess. Okay, let's just go. Let's just go on. Bayonetta. I never played the game. Why it's here? One word to describe Bayonetta. It's horny. Grow up. I played a little bit of it. Not enough to like have a huge understanding of it, so I'm not gonna say too much, but I can say it was horny. Grow up. Devil May Cry, very similar situation. I had, to be honest, I had an issue. I don't know why, but I felt like the game played on a incorrect speed. Because in the cutscenes, there was a desync in lips and voice. And the gameplay felt like something weird is happening to the game. Like, this should never play like this. I know this game is old, and I know that it wasn't like Ninja Gaiden style of game, where it's this responsive and stuff. But it was just weird to play. So I had to abandon playing it right at that moment. I will get back to it because I kind of want. But for now I don't have that much to say as well. Let's go into S.W.I.N.E, a remake of S.W.I.N.E Remaster. I would say it's on par with Heroes 2. It's a very old game. The remaster is not like they haven't changed anything. Probably, I don't believe they changed anything. To be honest, it's like made the game playable, made the game look decent, and that's pretty much it. Like, you don't really have any life improvement kind of stuff. It's just as clunky as it was back then. Just as good as well. If you enjoy slow tactical gameplay, this is just a solid game. It's very old, but you can have fun with it. I always enjoyed this game, the way the tanks leveled up and the visuals changed. That's the thing that I enjoyed the most. When you upgraded your tank, you can still like kind of cheese, like heal enemy tanks to kill them, get more XP and stuff. Like, you can still do this kind of stuff. So it's a highly exploitable game because, well, nobody fixed it. Just a remastered of textures, a little bit of gameplay. It works on ultra wide as well. Solid. I would say it's a solid game. I have to replay S.W.I.N.E. Do it. Do it. It works pretty much out of the box. The remaster, I mean. So it's a good remaster. Okay. Anyway, let's continue with which hand. I want to talk about this one because this one is a very specific one. I want to give it good, but I also kind of want to give it bad. So I'm gonna give it not great, not terrible. And the reason for this is very simple. The gameplay is in general enjoyable. However, at the time I was playing it, I don't remember if it wasn't. It might be that it was early access, by the way, so mind that. Might have been a little bit fixed, changed, improved. Get good. But in general, I had some straight up control issues. Like I couldn't like place stuff where I wanted it to be. Like some mechanic, because it's a card game. You have generally it is a city builder, but with cards. So you build those massive plays that just goes into this auto play mode, but the problem is that you have to manage it like a deck of cards, and because of that, the mechanic of stacking cards can be really clunky. Sometimes you have space, like you can kind of visualize the space where you want stuff to be, but because of how the cards stack one on another, you just can't get it working. Like you just cannot. It doesn't want to work. Whenever you have to do something, you fight against the cards. Like it's not really. You spend a lot of time just trying to get the thing you want to do to work instead of just doing it. Controls can be clunky. At least they were. I'm not sure how it works right now. Yeah. So I would say if the controls right now are better, it's a good game. But if they remain the same, at some point it just kind of like gets under your skin. You're like, oh, I had this cool idea that maybe I put cards over there and it's gonna be cool because I will have like this stack that I can take cards from, and then it just breaks and it doesn't work, and you're like, what? Please work. Why you don't work? Yeah, not a huge fun. Let's go. Next game. Next game. I want to go with Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. This is not the classic Rock Galactic, the shooter. This is the Survivor-like, which was pretty good. It was an early access, and it played very well, to be honest. It's one of those Survivor-likes that very well explored the movement very well. I really enjoyed that because I believe that Vampire Survivor really stood out because of the movement mechanic, because of the patterns of movement you had to learn for each weapon. And I think Survivors are doing pretty good job with that because they really explore the movement very well. They ask you to actually think about it, because games like Death Must Die or the Halls of Torment are games in which you just don't really care about the movement that much. At some point, those games just become absolute. I don't know, you know what? It's just like type of slasher game, auto slashers. I feel like those are the different types of games, but Deep Rock Survivors actually changed the movement patterns in some interesting ways, and I had a lot of fun with it. I would say it's a good game. It was an early access, so I cannot say if it's still good or even if it got better. That's why I'm gonna leave it at good. Let's go with Styx, which I really enjoyed as well. I would say it's on a maybe a little bit higher than Ghostrunner. A solid like it's a solid game, solid mechanics, overall solid gameplay. Sneaking around feels good. The locations were very well designed. It's a solid game. It's your typical 7.5 game where you say, yeah, you know what you're gonna get. I have to play the second one. I don't wonder about this. Good. Let's go into Delusion, which I played a little bit. I haven't really finished that ever. But it was a good game. I really enjoyed that. It wasn't your typical slasher. And the game like truly understood that it's not gonna compete with games like, I don't know, even Dark Messiah. Like you're not gonna have this kind of havoc system that makes the combat really interesting, throwing bricks at enemies. And they were like, hey, this is more like an adventure game. And they went with that. And you can talk to people. You don't first boss, you don't fight him, just talk to him. And it's amazing. You really have to explore the levels. The exploration is really heavily supported in the game. I really enjoyed that. Because suddenly you get levels from exploration. It's just your curiosity is like, oh, there's something over there, let's go. And no, man, a lot of stuff happens when you look around. That's why it's a pretty good game. So yeah, the one word I would use to describe Red Delusion is exploration. This game is mostly about exploration of space, of places, talking to people, not just swing and sword, not killing. It's a little bit of exploration, but mostly exploration, to be honest. Good game. Then we have Lunacid, which I didn't play enough, I feel like, to be talking about. I played a little bit of it, but well, I don't think it was enough to explore the true loop that you will go through. It was confusing, that's for sure, because there's a lot of stuff that you don't understand until you learn more. And yeah, I have to finish this game sometime. Like play more, because I played like maybe 2 hours. Just 2 hours. That's way not enough to actually like properly place it. But it has a great potential, that's for sure. Anyway, Dreamscaper. And I'm torn on this one. I finished the game, I played a lot of it. But I was kinda forcing myself at some point. Mostly because the game gets really... I would say it gets really boring. Like... It's kinda one-dimensional, I would say, in terms of gameplay. I'm gonna place it here. Not great, not terrible. It's a decent, like, kind of slasher. Like, beat them up. Kind of something like that. They slasher beat them up. It's just not good enough to keep you invested over a very long time. At some point you get a couple of ideas how to build your character. And you're like, well, doesn't really get any more interesting. Like you can finish the game 17 times. Because it's a typical roguelike. You have to do it 17 times. But you're like, man. At some point, I believe you have to... Oh, I know I disliked it a very lot. At some point, you have to actually grind your friendship level with characters around the town. And to do that, you have to like collect stuff in the missions. And it's just tedious at some point. It's like very slow, and it's like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, yeah, I can beat the game, but I need to collect the stuff, you know? Like, I would really love to finish it, but at first I need to like build my reputation, yo. In Hades, you don't have to, you just have to beat the game. No one cares if you renovate the entire palace. But here, the meta resource, the most important one suddenly. Like, oh man, if I knew, I would gather this stuff. Always would choose the meta stuff over the current run stuff, because that's more important. That's why I would say it's not great, not terrible. It was playable, but it's not great. Later on we have Death's Door. And fuck me, that's a good game. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one over... probably over here. I haven't finished it, by the way, but I did play quite a lot of it. And it's just so cute. So nice. Man, it's just plays itself almost. It's very easy if you you like Souls likes. It's a quite easy game. But it's like the atmosphere is really enjoyable. The hidden things, the way the things are hidden is really cool because it really plays well with this isometric view. A very well done game. Tone is very good. Like, it's just a good game. You cannot say that there's something absolutely incredible in the game, but it's a solid experience. I don't think it's a must play, but it is a good game. If you enjoy to just run around, it's a little bit like Hyper Light Drifter. If you enjoyed that kind of gameplay, I feel like this might be a good fit for you. Because you go around, some cool stuff. Not very combat heavy. It's also not really like absolutely lenient in terms of combat. You can still easily die. So yeah, that's pretty much the thing. Next is Darksiders Genesis, which was astonishing game. Yeah, I think it's a Thick Regalia or Darksiders. I feel like Thick Regalia still wins, sorry, but Thick Regalia we're talking about. No way. Genesis, it's an arcade game. That's the only word that describes this game. It's an arcade game. Everything is just to be flashy. Like, sorry, but this is just to be flashy. Have your opinion about Darksiders 3 changed after playing Dark Souls 1? Yeah, I still think Darksiders 3 tries to beat Dark Souls but doesn't know how to do it. Like, there are things that just don't work in the Darksiders. I don't know why, but they have those weird things that just don't work. Also the bosses, sorry, but if you fuck up bosses this much, there's no enjoyment to have. I feel like suddenly it was also too lenient. Anyway, Genesis, arcade as fuck. All the way through arcade. You get new guns, but it's pretty much just so you can have a new way of destroying your enemies, your favorite way of destroying the enemies. You can do whatever you want. The builds don't really matter or that much, like the stats maybe later on if you play on higher difficulties. But in general, it's all just so you can have loads of fun, spam the entire map with VFXs, just unleash hell on everything that moves. It's just arcade, nothing more, nothing less. It's a great time, by the way. If you enjoy twin stick shooters, we're gonna have a good one with this one, but don't go inside thinking about challenge. I don't believe there's a challenge to be had there. There's just numbers. Crunch the numbers, the gameplay gets really easy. But it's a still visually impressive game. Next, Supervive, which I'm playing right now as well. I wouldn't say it's a must play. I would say it's a good game. It's a game that is... It's a battle royale. Well, the hero-based battle royale twin stick shooter on a mouse with keyboard. Not really much to be expected from this. If you played League of Legends, you might be a little bit confused by this one, because it's not really like League of Legends. I think that having this be a situation where you move around with your character with keyboard instead of pressing a mouse absolutely changes how the game is played. I absolutely do not believe that this game is anywhere close to being like League of Legends. And I also believe that that's why there was this one game, Battleborn, I believe it was called, before. That was very similar as well. That's why this game also was not that successful, because really playing on a mouse and keyboard is not the same as having you to move your character with mouse clicks. Completely different feeling, in my opinion. Completely different control over your character. The camera is locked on your character, so any type of movement, any type of being thrown around, suddenly your camera goes everywhere. Completely different feeling. I have fun with Supervive, but it's like it starts to wear off, you know, like you play a character and suddenly you don't shoot your missiles correctly because you're moving your mouse. Like, in Supervive, whenever you move your mouse, your camera follows, and you can't turn it off, but if you turn it off, then you lose so much vision around you that suddenly on the bottom end of the screen you cannot see an enemy that can hurt you, by the way, and you can hurt him as well if you can see him, but because the camera doesn't move, then you cannot see him, so you cannot hurt him. Basically, it's a situation where you lose a precision because of the camera movement, and you need to take into account that whenever you remove your mouse, it's also the camera, so the distance is a little bit different. It's like an arc. It's like having an acceleration of the mouse being turned on randomly, and you don't want this to happen. And it's like it doesn't translate one-to-one from League of Legends to Survive. That's why I don't really enjoy it that much as I would love to. It's a very skill-based game, by the way. Like holy shit, it is mostly about skill. But then you lose your precision that you had in League of Legends. Suddenly you're like, man, I would really love to be able to play this game on a high level, but you know, I move the camera around whenever I move my mouse around, so it's like double the distance. I cannot turn it off, even though I would love to, because I suddenly cannot see stuff, and you cannot really like zoom the camera out. If I could move my character with the mouse, 10 out of 10 must play. But I can't. So it's not. It's just good. Good enough for me to just have some fun. That's it. That was the last game. So, to promote one game to the absolute godlike S tier, can add one row above. The super camera, the one below. Obviously, this is absolute yoke. And the absolute yoke goes to Seekers of the Storm, because you didn't fuck up one thing. Not just the DLC that you fucked up, it's also the base game. Fuck you. Absolute yoke. The absolute cinema. I feel like absolute cinema game. I feel like it's Helldivers, to be honest. Like, Dark Souls are forever. Like, they are around the globe for so long that maybe if it was 2008, then I would be like, yeah, that's the game of the year. For me, like now, it is because I just played it. But something that has to be kind of studied is the Helldivers right now. Like in 2025, Helldivers are a game that you kind of have to like understand how it came to be, what is so great about it. Because we have a lot of games that are like Dark Souls right now. We have a awful lot of time to study Dark Souls. But a game like Helldivers, oh man, How do you make a game that is this addicting to everybody? Like, oh, this is an absolute cinema. It is absolute cinema. And that's it. Those are all the games from 2024. No. I'm missing one game. I am missing one game. Oh my god. I'm missing an absolute gem of a game. I am missing one absolute gem of a game. The fuck did I say? How do? Oh, because type icon. Type icon. Oh, it works. Okay. It works. You might not know this game because of by the icon itself. Oh wait, it's actually. A little bit. Hey, we have the boy. This one. Oh, yeah, the Gnorp Apologue. Gnorp? I don't know how to read this one. Gnorp. If you're gonna just read it as it is. Gnorp Apologue. It's a cookie clicker, but it's amazing. It's absolute must play. It's just so fun. I had so much fun with this one. Every single comment under the game on Steam is Gnorp. It's a cult, okay? It's a classic cult situation here. A Gnorp Apologue game if you want to have a little bit of fun. It's cheap as fuck and it's fun. You're gonna hit the rock, kill the rock, smash the rock, destroy the rock, blow up the rock, everything to the rock. Yeah, I love this game. it's a must play. And that now it's over. Hey, now we have finished. Now we have all of the games. Absolute cinema. Finished. So yeah, that's been my year 2024 in a nutshell. Those are all of the games I have played. I have launched. I had a lot of fun that year. I played a lot of games that I really enjoyed. Played some bad games as well. Bought myself a new PC, ultra wide, and now I'm trying all of the games on ultra wide. And suddenly I'm mad that the games don't work on ultra wide as well. But it is awesome. I'm gonna play more games here. If everything works well, we'll see in the next week. Maybe I will be able to play even games. Because maybe I will have a job. I'll be able to finally buy games. We'll see about that. But yeah. Thanks for sticking around, Salam. You're probably the only person. But it's fine. Thanks for sticking around. And see you next time. Hey, one day. I'm gonna go and grind my video. Lock in. I'm gonna lock in right now. I'm gonna go and lock in. Prep the video. Because I'm gonna get it twisted a little. I have a little bit of twist for this one. Yeah. Well, you'll see next week. I hope next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around.